Welcome back to another episode of The Hardcore Casual with your boy, Bass the Kid. As always, please like and subscribe, share this with a friend, a colleague, an associate, a relative, enemy, anyone in between. I appreciate all the views, all the comments from the regulars, especially man like JD Boxing. Salute Ash, salute Bruce Kai if you're watching, salute, Osborne, anyone else. Now, you might see quite a few jump cuts in this one because I'm ill. Went to a funeral earlier on. I've come back. That switch from the sunshine to the to the bit of the breeze in the evening, caught me off guard, and I'm suffering a little bit, but the show must go on, as they say. Couple things I want to give my thoughts on, so without further ado, let's get into it. So it was announced on the Boxer card that Joseph Parker would be signing an exclusive long-term deal with Boxer and Sky Sports. Now, I didn't say how long the deal was, but when someone says something like that, I gotta assume it's either, say, like a 4 or a 5 year deal, or like a 7 or an 8 deal fight deal, something like that. Now, on the surface, doesn't seem like a bad move. You secure the bag, you get a certain guarantee, I guess, for each individual fight that you have, and it looks like a decent move. But we know he had the Filip Hrgović fight that they turned down, quoting that the elbows needed working on, but then went looking for another fight straight away, found the Joe Joyce fight, subsequently jumped ship from the Joe Joyce fight to go sign with Boxer, talking about they want a Dillian Whyte rematch, and I don't even know who else was supposedly in that discussion. Now, I can't really defend it, so first things first, I gotta say that's two ducks right there. Ducked Hrgović and now quote unquote duck Joe Joyce, because let's be real, as much as they say, oh, we still want the Joe Joyce fight, how can you want a fight that you now don't have access to? Frank Warren is not gonna allow Joe Joyce to go over to Boxer and potentially get beat on another platform. And Sky, since they've now just signed Joseph Parker, are not going to allow him to go and fight on BT Sport. So that fight's pretty much dead in the water unless it comes down to a final eliminator purse bid, and I guess Sky or Frank on Queensbury win the bid. It doesn't really seem like a sensible move, in the sense that if you want certain big fights, because none of the people that you're calling out are on the platform that you've just signed to. So it's a bit of an odd one there. The only way I guess it makes sense moving forward is if Sky get the signature of Dillian Whyte as well, if they sign up Martin Bacoli based on what he just did with Tony Yoka. As far as I'm aware, he's a free agent now. I don't think he's still got his DAZN deal. Sky probably have signed Michael Hunter to options if he beats Hughie Fury, so that again could be another move in the right direction. Obviously they got Frazier Clark and what's the other guy's name? Is it Steve Robinson? The fake Ivan Drago brother, there's him. Who else have they got over there? Jamie TKV, I suppose, is the next one. So I mean, they've got an amount of up and coming prospect heavyweights, but in terms of people that are gonna get you closer towards a world title, if that's what you really say you want, I don't really see it. But I guess I can't poo-poo it all the way. It's similar to Natasha Jonas when she went over there. She secured her future for outside of boxing. She's got her punditry work now, she's doing her commentary, and I guess it could be a vibe like that. Also, possibly, maybe the fact that Andy Lee is a member of the DAZN team, Parker might have felt that might be a slight contrast of interest between training and then having to work with DAZN. So maybe since he's removed half of that from the issue, it might be a different thing altogether. I don't know. Like I said, it's a move that doesn't make sense on the surface right now, but it could make sense, say, in a month's time or 2 months' time, or if, like I said, that WBO gets called as like a final eliminator purse bid between Joe Joyce and Joseph Parker, and then that in itself might, you know, be an educated gamble. But yeah, I'm prepared to hold judgment on it at the moment, but thus far it does look like, you know, he's ducked the smoke from two of his biggest competitors who would have guaranteed him next title shot within either the IBF or the WBO as of right now. But yeah, like I said, I'll hold off on further judgment for right now. I guess while we're talking about things being signed, Jermell Charlo has officially signed on to face Tim Tszyu, which is his WBO mandatory challenger, who now Tim Tszyu gets a chance to fight for the undisputed super welterweight championships of the world. Personally, I think it's a bit too early for Tim Tszyu. You know, he's a really good up and comer. He's got a lot of potential, but I don't think the potential is realized yet. He squares up quite a bit in some of his fights, and you know, Charlo definitely is the #1 guy in that super welterweight division right now. But you know what, gotta commend him, because at the end of the day, you know, little Charlo is just showing big Charlo how things should be done, and you gotta take on all comers. That's what he's doing. Now it's time for, you know, the other one to, you know, to start stepping up to the plate, because when you look at the two of their careers right now, even though one's undefeated and the other one isn't, most people would rather have the, you know, the record of the person who's got the loss and the draw. Has he got a draw in his? Yeah, it's the loss and the draw. He's definitely, you know, cementing his legacy over the other one, and I don't really want to go too much into it. Tim Tszyu, I mean, it will be a hard enough task, but it will definitely be a task that I can see Charlo coming through. Especially, like I said, Tim Tszyu still a bit green, squares up. If he gets caught with the type of shots that he got caught with in his last fight, which when he ends up getting put down, he could definitely end up getting put to sleep. So hopefully they are working on proper game plans and his skills are being fine-tuned for that match, but definitely looking forward to it. Now, in the previous video, I spoke about Anthony Joshua reportedly leaving the Sky Sports box office platform, going to DAZN, obviously the DAZN pay-per-view, and, you know, having a $100 million a year deal there, you know, working 2 fights a year. Well, it's actually now been made official as of, I guess, yesterday, whereby, yes, Anthony Joshua is now signed to DAZN. And in the previous issue I read, it said that both him and his stable of fighters would be sort of making the transition. Now, with a bunch of them have gone to boxer, like you've got you know, Shannon Ryan's over there, Sophie Alish, I don't think she's sort of worked out her one as of yet, but Ben Whittaker, he's also there. Fraser Clark's there as well. The only ones who are currently on DAZN is Lawrence Okoli and Joshua Buatsi. Now, and I guess Derek Chisora as well, because I forgot he's also a part of 258 management. And I said, I don't know if it's 258 management that have gone across or AJ Boxing, but I don't know if he has anyone directly signed under that banner as of yet. Well, further to that story, we now find out that AJ's contract or his agreement with DAZN reaches far beyond actually just fighting and possibly his stable of fighters. So he's now a shareholder within DAZN, and also is on their panel of, what is it, their innovations board or something like that, so whereby he gets to put in ideas for strategic planning moving forward for DAZN, and I guess some of their moves maybe into different markets, or the way how they even go about marketing certain events, I guess, within the UK and other parts of Europe. Now, that's quite a big move, to be fair. Like, I gotta give up because I don't know how he managed to pull that off. The shareholder thing, that makes sense, because there was reports about 2 or 3 years ago that Anthony Joshua had some shares in DAZN, the same as Eddie Hearn had like shares in DAZN as well. But being, you know, I guess maybe they increased the amount of shares that he had, and this whole global platform, which means that, you know, win, lose or draw against Alexander Usyk moving forward, he's getting paid regardless, outside of whatever fights he takes or whether he decides to retire or anything like that. He's got a hand in creative, which basically means that he's got a hand in what it does moving forward, which means he gets his hands on whatever revenue it generates 10, 15, 20 years, 30 years down the line. That's definitely a way how you secure that family bag for, you know, for future generations. I mean, he's probably already done that, but boy, he's just taken that to a whole nother level. I wonder if there's any sort of tiering systems when it comes to if he loses to Usyk in the next fight, or if he loses a fight after that, or if he wins and then he loses the belts again or something like that. I wonder if there's, you know, oh, like it's 100 million now, but if you don't win that fight, then it actually goes down to like 42 million or something like that. If you lose again, then it goes down to 17, and then if you lose again, then you're on the same money as everyone else. I don't know. It would be nice to kind of know the ins and outs of the deal, but that's probably way too complex for, you know, someone like myself and probably you guys watching to really want to work out. I gotta assume that this was spoken about on Monday Night Smoke, but unfortunately I was unable to watch it this week. I'm gonna tune in, you know, before the breakdown comes up. No doubt myself and Tony will bring up something to do with this news, but yeah, I mean, overall I just gotta say that's a power play and a half. So if you was ever wondering who's still like the biggest commercial draw in the UK, you ain't gotta wonder no more. The question is though, how does this affect the rest of the stable that aren't on DAZN? The Ben Whitakers, the Shannon Ryans, the Fraser Clarks. That's really interesting. Like, do they now have divided loyalty between essentially their boss and their platform? Do they have a clause in their contract which says that they can rip it up after 1 or 2 fights, or they don't have to stay within it? I'm pretty sure that 258 would have put something in there to, you know, to allow them to be able to have a swift exit if and when it was required. And obviously, you know, someone like Eddie normally does fight by fight contracts anyway with the majority of his people. There's very few that gets, you know, signed and roped into proper long-term contracts. But yeah, that's, like I said, it's really interesting. And you know, I mean, it can only be good for the sport, and it can definitely only be good for DAZN, because regardless of what happens with AJ, him being such a cash cow and a money spinner is going to entice, as I said the other day, other fighters to come to the platform that maybe were on the fence about it before. You might get a couple casuals sign up and maybe even forget to cancel their subscriptions, but they find out some of the, you know, the big events that happen in Italy and Mexico, France, you know, Spain, you know, and they might just start enjoying some of those. You know, you get to see some of the Japan cards here and there as well, and then obviously there's all of the American content which they wouldn't have had access to. So I mean, for DAZN itself, it can't be anything other than a good thing, unless AJ's popularity absolutely tanks, or he does something, you know, horrendous to end up getting himself cancelled and everyone tunes out because he's affiliated with the platform. But realistically, I don't see something like that happening. So yeah, I'm just spitballing, like, you know, nonsense ideas at this point, but I can only really see the upside of it at this point in time. Of course, I guess it's all contingent on what happens in the Usyk fight, which I believe we've been told will be announced this week as well. So probably that'll come around Thursday, maybe even Friday, getting ready for the weekend. But yeah, big up AJ, big up DAZN, and well, unlucky Sky Sports. See what they do next. And that's it for another episode. I want to thank everyone who's watched. If I sound a little nasally or a little bunged up, I apologize, but I would rather be that way rather than you seeing my nose dripping right about now. Yeah, I've had to do a couple cuts. You ain't seen them, but yeah, it hasn't been nice. Anyway, more videos to come this week. I've got a couple others planned. Femme Files has got to get us back on. I got a couple people for that as well. I'm not sure if that's going to drop this week or next week, but that's in the pipeline. But it'll probably be this week, as there's only sort of a couple fights over the weekend to talk about. I get more chance to do it. But yeah, as always, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. As always, Hardcore Casual out.